Thanks for listening to our daily Bible reading lesson. The lesson today is I'm just watching. I can remember whenever I was little sitting in a car beside my mother as my father had gone into a store. And my father would have asked my mother, "You want to go in?" And she said, "No, I'm just going to sit here and watch." But she liked to watch people. And that's a pretty fun thing. You see a lot of amazing things. We go through life and there's a lot of things we like to just watch. And it's good. You can learn a lot of things. You can be relaxed and such as that. But in our reading yesterday, we find that there's a time whenever we don't just watch. You find that as Obadiah begins, you find that Edom is a proud people. They think they're all set and nothing can come against them, but God lets them know very plainly that they're in trouble, that in fact destruction is coming. And you'd think about they might ask why. In verse 10 through 11, it tells us, "For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever." You think it, again, they might think, well, what do we do? Well, in verse 11, "In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, cast lots on Jerusalem, even as one of them." You see what they did? They were just watching. As evil came against God's people, they were just watching. And God says, when you do that, whenever you fail to do what you ought to do, what you have the ability to do, what you have the privilege to do, you're like one of them. What a horrible thing that is. But today we sometimes are plagued by people who are watchers. You find that God tells us we're to be an active people. We're to not just watch as somebody may attack the word. We're to be set for the defense of the gospel in Jude 3. We're not to watch as other people may fall into error as the devil attacks them. Instead, we're to seek to restore them in Galatians 6 and verse 1. We're not to just watch as people face the struggles, the burdens that come upon us all. Rather, we are to help bear one another's burdens, Galatians 6 and verse 2. We're not to look as the church is attacked from within without. You look at the Corinthian letters, Paul is crying out, "I can't stand by. I've got to help. I've got to try and correct these problems to assist these brethren." How many times, though, do we find people just watching? Give me a moment here for one of my pet peeves. We find people who are very active, especially it seems during this day and time. You hear people cry, the Constitution's under attack. The United States is being destroyed. You find people rising up because of what they see as injustices against the republic in which we're part of. Where are those people whenever the Lord's church is under attack? Well, they say, well, I'm too busy over here. It's not my job. In other words, I'm just watching. I have no problem with political activism. Stand against the wrongs, but make sure that you stand with God. One of the things that God tells us in Revelation 17 is that there is a war going on, and they make war with the Lamb, that is Jesus Christ. But we know that God is going to overcome, just as he did in Obadiah. God's people were going to go on. Judah was going to stand. But today we are the children of God. We are the Abraham seed. We are the children of promise. God's going to win, and we make the choice. Are we going to stand on the other side, or are we going to stand with Jesus? Revelation 17 and verse 14, the war rages, and they that are with him will be victorious with him. Am I just watching, or am I standing with God? Thank you for listening. Don't just watch, not when it concerns the things of God. Have a great day. Thank you again for joining us in this Bible study. We remind you, if you'd like to follow along in our daily Bible reading, the link below in the description of this video will give you the PDF so you can read right along with us. If you have any other questions or if you'd like information on a Bible study, contact us with the information provided on the screen before you.